Welcome back to Miles Tales Prower reads Sesame Street, Big Bird Behind the Beak. A lost Sesame Street episode creepypasta. I'm Tails. Let's continue the story, shall we? The remaining bones form a skeleton that gets up and walks over to the window. Was it a cartoon? What was it? Do you remember? It smiles something fierce and moves over to the window, holding a knife. His hobnob knees bob up and down as it lures you over to the window, then pushes you forward. It starts to stab you. The camera laid on the floor now. You can hear two men moaning. "Oh, Bert. Oh, love me, Bert." In the background, you can hear in through the wall. It's disturbingly homoerotic. Blood begins to trickle down the floorboards. The camera lay on its side. You remember what happened? You remember what happened next, right? Little demonic visages, which had no physical form, enveloped the screen. Big Bird at a window, smiling and smiling away as pieces of flesh are carried off to some indiscriminate location. You probably had a nightmare about those little creatures sneaking into your bedroom and taking you away, piece by piece. A live woolly mammoth, not computer generated. A real woolly mammoth comes in, tusks and all, and stomps on your skull. Your brains, which look like the same pasta that covered the man in the garbage, flies everywhere. Except the pasta is moving. Pastas don't move. You may have left the room now, but most kids stay. A small amount of hypnotic noise kept them glued to the television set. It was all a dream anyway. A shot of a brick wall drawing shut in a back alley, marked by a strange occult symbol, seals Sesame Street closed. Grover is seen as his normal puppet self. He's sitting on a low wall around some foliage. "Hey kids, I had that dream too." "We all had that dream, but dreams aren't real." A voice should have said something, but nobody was there. Grover takes out a bottle of pills and pours them down his throat. They fall to the floor, but the jaw pretends to chew them. "It's all gonna be all right from now on." "Hey!" All of a sudden, the puppet jolts up. "It feels like something is touching me." Grover starts to squirm. He screams. He coughs up vomit and blood that shoots out of his throat based on some weird pipe configuration. The acid dissolves the puppet as a smiling man gets up from behind the low wall. "It was me all along." The man smiles. It was a short, thin, mentally challenged man with silver eyes painted blue. He was naked and hobnobbing around. He opens his mouth wide. Those spaghetti strands come back. They're tiny macros of bacteria. They expand like fleshy intestines, veins, and blood vessels. Cancerous sores begin to stretch out of his mouth, enveloping the trees, the wall. They rise high into the sky, long, infinite strands of fleshy intestinal passages that drip blood and take over the street. The man's eyes explode and he melts into the floor. Hundreds of people run in. But they have no skin. Their visible intestines and organs are static as they move across the floor. Some of them are falling apart. Their hearts, lungs, and livers collapse on the floor as the sound of screaming is heard. You remember the close-up, don't you? As one of them approached and enveloped the camera, hollow real eyes, bloody skull, flesh pulsing. Big Bird comes back bearing his toothy smile as the flesh envelopes everything. I know you remember now. He grabs the camera, grabs you, nuzzles you in his winged breast. The world's a scary place, isn't it? He holds you close, though it's terrifying. You can hear the breathing. And all the dirt, the trash and garbage is in you. And you're the bacteria. He smiles wide as his mouth full of microbeads leach around his face. But I'm not your friend either. And wherever you go, whoever you love, whatever back alley you walk down, I'll be watching you in the window. He smiles wider. I'm not going to hurt you, but I'll be watching you. His voice like grip is tight. His voice like grip is tightening around you. His eyes turn demonic and demon-like and bites into your neck. Sharp teeth bite down as blood trickles down your neck. Your head is an old 80s bubble television attached to the body. Inside that TV is a scene of the same scene. And inside that TV, there's a scene of the same scene. It seems to go on forever. 1, 2, 3. The vampire counts. The television explodes. I have something to tell you. I worked for the company that produced this episode. This was a repressed memory that's been deep within you since childhood. The next time you watch an episode of Sesame Street, even if it's on in another room, be careful. They say that the puppet has his hand in its back, and a man with a puppet has a hand up his back. And that man with that puppet, and that man and another man, infinite men. 1, 2, 3. Woo! That was pretty believable, I might say. And that was Sesame Street, Big Bird Behind the Beak, and Sesame Street Lost Episode Creepypasta. When I first read this, I thought it was almost like a real episode of Sesame Street. I gotta say, this story was actually very believable. It was really, really nice. The story explained all the things that were going on. Really great. That almost gave me the creeps when I first watched it. When I first listened to it. So yeah, what do you all think of this creepypasta? Did you like it or did you not? As for me, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna need a lot of rest so I can hang out with Sonic. Tomorrow. Anyway, I hope you all don't have nightmares tonight. This is Tails, also known as Miles Prower, signing off. Good night, everybody. Sleep tight, and don't let the bed bugs bite.